Coming up on News 11, Harriet Tubman is being removed from the National Parks website. Parts of our country are experiencing fatal flooding. And what you need to know about the hands-off protests. All this and more, News 11 starts right now. Good evening and welcome back to News 11. I'm Kellyanne Hender.
And I'm Alex Matt.
We have a lot of exciting stories to cover, so let's get started with your local news. A new summer recreation program for children is coming to Dunkirk, replacing Camp Gross, which was cut from the 2025 budget. Deputy Planning and Development Director E.J. Hayes discussed the plan at a recent Common Council meeting. The program will be run by the Boys and Girls Club of Northern Chautauqua County, not the city itself. It will take place at Point Gratiot from July 7th to August 15th, Monday through Friday. Parents must register through the Boys and Girls Club for the full program, as there will be no weekly sign-ups. The cost is $400 for one child, $750 for two, and $1,050 for three. That breaks down to about $67, $63, and $58 per week. Some council members raised concerns about affordability and flexibility. Councilwoman Nancy Nichols said parents are struggling after the city's tax hike. Hayes noted the city's only role is support, as the Boys and Girls Club sets all policies.
The Chautauqua County Department of Social Services is launching a new program to address the housing crisis. The Public Assistance Shelter Supplement intends to keep more people out of temporary housing and prevent individuals from becoming homeless. It will assist families, single adults, and childless couples bridge the gap between public housing and rental rates. They will provide additional funding for rent for those in need and ensure that they are able to secure stable housing. The issue the county is facing is that the prices of rentals are rising faster than allowances the state can provide. They have turned to using hotel rooms for temporary housing, but this is not sustainable for community members. In 2024, the Safety Net program spent over $11 million in home assistance. They hope that the PASS program will be more cost-effective for the county and provide more permanent solutions for residents. Eligibility is determined on a need basis, and supplements are determined based on the housing market.
There's a saying that laughter is the best medicine, and at the National Comedy Center, that's exactly the idea behind their Memory Cafe. Held on the first Monday of each month, the cafe offers free admission to individuals with memory loss, along with their caregivers. Guests revisit joyful moments from comedy legends like Carol Burnett and Johnny Carson, sparking connection and even improving communication. Gary Hahn of the Comedy Center said, quote, "We're like a time machine. We transport you back," end quote. Megan Eckwall says the nostalgia often leads to real emotional breakthroughs. For Rochelle Mole, whose loved ones attend regularly, the laughter stays long after the visit ends. To learn more about the Memory Cafe, visit the National Comedy Center's website.
This past weekend, the Stage Music venue on Main Street hosted a celebration of life for Noah Whitmore. 7-year-old Noah tragically lost his life in a car accident back in March, and since then, the community has rallied together to show his family their support. Noah's GoFundMe campaign raised more than $45,000 for his family, and the community continues to embrace them with love. Noah's mother, Carly Benavides, hopes to give back to the community and find a way to honor Noah's legacy. She said, quote, "I think that would be just really nice to have a little something, whether it's a bench or a merry-go-round, just something that he would love and that the other kids can enjoy," end quote. General Manager Robert Neubauer of the Stage expressed his commitment to supporting the family during the time and emphasized the importance of community, saying, quote, "We're going to use everything we can to give what we have, because that's what you do, right? And if we have the means to do it," end quote. Neubauer hopes to establish a foundation to ensure Noah's legacy lives on by hosting events on his birthday to benefit other families who have dealt with the same thing. You can further support Noah's family by donating to his GoFundMe.
Prom season is here, and thanks to Colvin Cleaners, Gowns for Prom, some high school girls were able to select their prom dresses free of charge. On Saturday, the Buffalo Convention Center was filled with gently used and even some brand new gowns that were collected by Colvin Cleaners. Cindy Billanai, who owns the company, said that the goal was to ease the stress for local families struggling to afford a prom dress for their daughter. Bill and I said, quote, "We have an option for about anything you're looking for," end quote. She just wants every girl to feel like a princess.
An 8-year-old girl in Depew brought her love of animals to the community with a pet pantry. Beverly Gambino said she was influenced by her grandmother, who does a little pantry. Gambino has her own pets at home: 2 cats, 2 dogs, a hamster, and a fish. She has the pantry stocked with all you could need, including food, treats, toys, and leashes. Gambino did the initial stock all on her own and is holding a fundraiser in order to keep it full in the future. She expressed she just simply does not want any cats or dogs to go hungry. Everyone who donates $5 is eligible to be one of 3 winners on April 10th. And when we return, we will have your national stories. We'll be right back.
We've been down there. You gotta do the same. Post office. All you do is sign. So don't get nervous. Sign your name. For selective service. It takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. For selective service.
Hey guys, if you're about to turn 18, you've got to register with Selective Service. It's simple. Just go down to the post office, fill out a card, and turn it in. That's all there is to it. There's no draft now. You're just adding your name to Selective Service's list in case there's a national emergency.
So if you're 18 now, Selective Service, you gotta get down to the post office.
Register with Selective Service. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
Takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service.
This past Saturday, estimated millions of people gathered around the country to participate in the hands-off protests. Over 1,400 separate protests were held at state capitals, federal buildings, congressional offices, Social Security's headquarters, parks, and city halls throughout the entire country. The protests were organized by a pro-democracy movement to fight against President Donald Trump and Elon Musk in what they call a, quote, hostile takeover, end quote, and an attack on Americans' rights and freedoms. The event flyers for the protest read, quote, "Whether you are mobilized by the attacks on our democracy, the slashing of jobs, the invasion of privacy, or the assault on our services, this movement is for you. We are setting out to build a massive, visible, national rejection of this crisis," end quote. Several state representatives spoke at the protest in Washington, D.C., stating their opinion on the Trump administration and hoping to help the people get their voice heard against the Trump administration. Some senators who spoke out included Democratic Representative Jamie Raskin of Maryland, Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, and Florida Representative Maxwell Frost. Protest goers across the country chanted, "Hey, quote, hey ho, Trump's gotta go," end quote, while holding signs that read, quote, "Protect our Constitution" and "Hands off our rights," end quote. Protests in Los Angeles marched along the Mile Loop to City Hall, chanting, quote, "Power to the people," end quote, with signs that read, quote, "Hands off education" and "Resist, resist," end quote. The organizers of the protest stated they had 3 demands, being quote, an end to the billionaire takeover and rampant corruption of the Trump administration, an end to slashing federal funds for Medicaid, Social Security, and other programs working people rely on, and an end to the attacks on immigrants, trans people, and other communities, end quote.
On Monday, the order to return a Maryland man back to the States who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador was paused. The Supreme Court approved the request from President Trump to give more time to consider the case. Kilmar Armando Abrigo Garcia was deported March 15th. There is no new deadline to bring Garcia back to the States, and he is held in what is known as the mega prison in El Salvador. The president's attorney noted that this happened due to an administrative error, but cannot be resolved so easily because Garcia is in Salvadorian custody. When Garcia arrived to the country, he was here illegally. However, a judge ruled in 2019 that he could not be deported to El Salvador because his former involvement in a gang was a threat to him and his family. Since then, Trump has declared that a gang a terrorist organization, making the 2019 ruling ineffective. In the 6 years since that ruling, Garcia has regularly checked in with his officers and has no criminal record. Some officials are skeptical of the original order that was released to return Garcia, saying that it is attempting to exert too much power over another nation. Others argue that the U.S. administration made this error and it is their duty to correct it as soon as possible.
2 border control officers accepted thousands of dollars to allow undocumented immigrants into California. Farles Almonte and Ricardo Rodriguez were assigned immigration inspection booths at the San Ysidro port of entry near San Diego. The illegal transactions were caught due to messages between the officers and human traffickers in Mexico. After further investigation, unexplained cash deposits were discovered in both of their bank accounts. Prosecutors said that dozens of vehicles were allowed to enter without any documentation requirements. Despite the sound evidence, the case is still under investigation and no concrete decisions have been made yet.
9-year-old Kentucky native Gabriel Andrews was among at least 19 people killed across several states after a rash of deadly storms ripped through the central U.S. These strings of disasters spawned dozens of tornadoes, dumping more than a foot of rain, causing torrential flooding. At the time of Gabriel's death, Kentucky was under a days-long state of emergency due to severe weather. Frankfort is particularly vulnerable to flooding due to the swollen Kentucky River that runs through it. Some parents blame the school district for not delaying or canceling classes Friday, despite the widespread flash flood warnings and the fact that the district had already canceled 2 school bus routes earlier that morning. An investigation by the Frankfort Police Department and Franklin County Coroner's Office is still ongoing.
Earlier this week, many were upset to discover edits made about Harriet Tubman on the National Park Service webpage. Under the Trump administration, there have been several prominent changes made to government websites, with the story of Harriet Tubman included. Previously, the webpage on the Underground Railroad showed a large image of Harriet Tubman, as well as a quote from her. The page has now been changed to show 5 commemorative stamps of Tubman alongside William Still, Catherine Coffin, Thomas Garrett, and Frederick Douglass, all of which were enslaved people seeking freedom. The quote from Harriet Tubman has been completely removed, as well as the main focus of the text being changed. Previously, the article started with a description of enslaved people's efforts to free themselves through the Underground Railroad organization after the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850. Now the page does not mention slavery until the 3rd paragraph and has completely cut its references to the Fugitive Slave Act. Fergus Bordwick, a historian and author of a book about the Underground Railroad, made a statement about the web page changes saying, quote, "It is both offensive and absurd. To oversimplify history is to distort it. Americans are not infants. They can handle complex and challenging historical narratives. They do not need to be protected from the truth," end quote. The agency in charge of the National Park Service made a response saying, quote, "The National Park Service recognizes Harriet Tubman as the Underground Railroad's best-known conductor, and we celebrate her as a deeply spiritual woman who lived her ideals and dedicated her life to freedom," end quote. On the updated webpage about the Underground Railroad, there are still no references to Tubman beyond the small commemorative stamps added.
Members of Book Talk, TikTok's passionate community of readers, have begun to express their dread at the possibility of book prices increasing. Over the past few days, dozens of creators have posted videos presenting their alarm over the tariffs posed by President Donald Trump. These new tariffs could increase the cost of manufacturing books, which would trickle down to the publishers and overall raising the price readers pay at the register. While most books are printed domestically in the US, most raw materials are imported as well as the machines and parts for maintaining printing presses. Before the election in November, the Book Talk community was debating whether books should be separate from politics. Now it's becoming more evident that the two are intertwined. And when we return, Jenna joins us for the first time with our sports update. We'll be right back.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
To Sofia and Gabriel, mis flores, my little flowers. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love, so you can take me with you wherever you go, near or far. These stitches and threads join us together. Me, your mother, and both of you. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
We're now joined by Jenna Polito, who will be giving us our weekly sports update. What's going on in sports, Jenna?
Thanks, Kellyanne. The Blue Devils men's track and field team opened their outdoor season in Geneseo on Saturday. Some standouts from the meet included Evan Thayer finishing 20th out of 60 runners in the 100-meter dash. Jacob Futch cleared 4.2 meters in pole vault, which earned him a third-place finish. And Nathan Carlson finished 11th out of 28 runners in the 400-meter event. The women also opened their season last Saturday in Geneseo. Some standouts from their meet include Brayton Trippey finishing 8th out of 28 jumpers and clearing 1.48 meters in the high jump. Allison Bartuzek finished 34th out of 53 runners in the 100-meter dash, and Kelly Hudson finished 28th out of 47 runners in the 5,000-meter event. Both the men and women will head to the University of Rochester this weekend. The men's baseball team here at Fredonia recently dropped a pair of games against Cortland on Friday. In the first game, the Blue Devils managed to secure a pair of hits from Brady Ventura and Kyle Tedford, but were unable to score any runs. They lost 10-1. Their second game saw a little more success, with Vinny Graziopline securing 2 hits and Tyler Curtis doubling. They were each credited with an RBI. The Blue Devils lost 10-2 on this one. After multiple postpones of games, they are set to play against SUNY Canton on Friday. The Blue Devils softball team saw an exciting pair of wins over in Morrisville in their most recent game. Game 1 saw home runs from Avery Hill and Madison Lowe. Hill finished with 5 RBIs and 3 hits, while Lowe finished with 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Their first game ended with the Blue Devils' win of 10-0. The second game saw 3 hits from both Ali Wandel and Ariane Leroux's. Wandel also was able to drive in 5 runs, while Leroux's drove in 3. Fredonia won the second game, ended with a score of 19-11. The girls are set to play next Friday against Plattsburgh State. The Devils lacrosse team also saw a win against the Canton Rouge in their game on Saturday. Emma Cockrell, Noelle Mendez, and Miley Barron each had 3 goals, helping secure the win. Goalies Ashley Mann and Jessica Kowalski had combined 8 saves. The Devils play again next against Buffalo State tonight. And now I'm going to hand it back over to Kelly Ann, who has our weather. What's going on in the weather, Kelly?
Thank you, Jenna. Today we saw a typical spring day with a high of 42 degrees and a low of 35 at night. We had partly cloudy skies with some sun throughout the day, and as we head into the night, we will have a 40% chance of rain. Tomorrow we will see it warm up a bit with a high of 46 degrees and a low of 38. We will have cloudy skies throughout the day and will have a 50% chance of rain as well. We will continue to see those April showers this weekend when we return for your weekend weather. And when we return, we will have your international headlines. We'll be right back.
Real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
To get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
The Indian Meteorological Department has warned the northern and central states of Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, and Gujarat can expected to have maximum temperatures cross 40 degrees Celsius or about 104 degrees Fahrenheit. This heat could cause moderate health concerns for infants, the elderly, and people with chronic diseases. While it's normal for India to experience heat waves between April and June due to global warming and climate change, these heat waves have become worse and worse. Mahesh Palawat, the Vice President of Meteorology and Climate Change at SkyMet, a forecasting company, said, quote, "We go straight from winter to summer. The spring season in northern India is shrinking," end quote.
North Korea's Pyongyang International Marathon is back for the first time in 6 years. The marathon was hosted on Sunday, welcoming over 500 participants with over 200 international runners, many of those runners coming from China and Russia. The event also featured a half marathon, 10-kilometer, and 5-kilometer races. International runners were required to buy a $2,500 ticket fit with a 6-day tour package provided by Koryo Tours. The race began in the capital at Sung Stadium, where more than 50,000 people were gathered to cheer on runners. Runners from South Korea, Malaysia, and the United States were reportedly excluded from this year's event due to ongoing diplomatic tension.
A rat named Ronan is making a name for rats everywhere. Ronan has set a new world record for the most landlines detected by a rat. Since August of 2021, he has uncovered 109 landmines and 15 other pieces of unexploded ordnance in a region close to Siem Reap in Cambodia. In Cambodia alone, landmines have caused more than 65,000 deaths and injuries since the fall of the Khmer Rouge regime in 1979. Because landmines are very difficult and dangerous to detect, the rats have become crucial. Their high intelligence, speed, and keen sense of smell make them adept at identifying explosives. The rats are being trained by APOPO, a landmine detection nonprofit organization based in Belgium. However, they are also trained to detect tuberculosis. And after the break, a look at Tracy Chapman on her re-release of her debut album, an update on Bobby Flay's love life, and the Minecraft movie. We'll be right back.
When you think of the local lowdown, what do you think of?
Well, when I think of the local lowdown, it's the live music that we have played in the studio.
It's gotta be the laughs we shared. The memorable moments during the whole thing. Oh my God, so fun.
The local lowdown for me is the people behind the scenes, the amazing team that we have making the show.
Oh, it's gotta be exploring all sorts of genres and music I've never heard before.
Oh, easy. Going out to shows and talking to artists and getting the latest news on what they have planned for the future.
It's about these artists, man. Giving them a platform to showcase what they've worked so hard on and show their music to the community. It's all about supporting the local scene of music to keep it running for years to come. And of course, the band merch. You can't forget about the merch.
Tracy Chapman is celebrating the belated re-release of her self-titled debut album. Chapman originally intended for the album to be released marking its 35th anniversary, but after running into a few hiccups, the album was released 37 years later. Usually reclusive to the media, Chapman has been making her rounds to promote the re-release of her album. At the 2024 Grammys, Chapman performed with country star Luke Combs on her single Fast Car, who Combs covered, causing it to hit the charts in success. Chapman explained that she was willing to give up her usual privacy for this album, saying, quote, "This is an opportunity for me to be able to say why I wanted to do this project and what it means to me, instead of letting the chatter speak for myself," end quote.
It seems as if Bobby Flay and Brooke Williamson's chemistry is heating up off screen. The two are co-stars on the television show Bobby's Triple Threat, and the dating rumors began after they were seen enjoying a night out at the New York Knicks game on April 6th. Both people have previously been romantically linked to each other's celebrity chefs, each of which they respectively share children with. Flay recently said on a podcast that he would be interested in a life partner, although he feels it doesn't necessarily require documentation. Reflecting on his past marriages, he went on to joke that it, quote, "hasn't been the best situation for me," end quote.
The blockbuster adaptation of the 2011 video game Minecraft shattered box office expectations, grossing almost $163 million domestically and marking the biggest opening weekend of the year. A Minecraft movie, which released in theaters last Friday, surged past the opening weekend of Disney's Captain America: Brave New World, which had been the top opener of 2025 with an opening weekend of $88.5 million. The film stars Jack Black as Steve, Jason Momoa as Garrett, Emma Myers and Sebastian Eugene Hansen played the brother and sister duo, Natalie and Henry, Daniel Brooks as Dawn, and even Jennifer Coolidge as Vice Principal Marlene. Video game movies are an increasingly popular genre, from the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which opened with $146 million in April of 2023, to the October 2023 debut of Five Nights at Freddy's, opening at $80 million, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 opening at $72 million in April of 2022. A Minecraft movie is now the biggest domestic opening weekend for a film based on a video game, according to ComScore. Sean Robbins, director of movie analytics at Fandango and founder of Box Office Theory, described the first quarter of 2025 as a, quote, "historically slow-moving movie-going season, end quote, noting that the year was absent of high-grossing blockbusters. A Minecraft movie was has received mixed reviews from critics, but is generally praised by gamers and moviegoers alike. The film has spawned countless memes and quotes online, from Chicken Jockey to I Am Steve, and even countless songs sung by Jack Black himself. With the success of these video game films, we will likely see more adaptations coming in the future. And now I'm going to hand it over to Alex for our weekend weather. What's going on in weather, Alex?
Thank you, Kellyanne. Make sure to have your umbrella handy, as we will see a lot of rain this weekend. Starting on Friday, we will see a high of 45 degrees, which will drop down to 39 at night. We will see some cloudy skies and a 60% chance of rain throughout the day. Moving into Saturday, we will have sunny skies during the day with a high of 44 degrees. As we head into the night, we will see the temperature drop down to 38 degrees, and we will see a 50% chance of rain. On Sunday, we will see the rain slow down, and we will have partly cloudy skies throughout the day. We will see a high of 48 degrees with a low of 42 as well. And that's all we have for your weather this week.
Thank you so much, Alex. That does it for News 11 this week. Thank you to our behind-the-scenes crew. We'll be back next week.
As always, thank you to everyone watching at home. Have a great night.